Have you ever had that feeling in your gut like something's just off? Not the usual, I hate my job and wish I was dead kind of off, but that kind where the hairs on your arms start standing up like antenna. That's exactly how I felt that night at Five Guys. I was cleaning the fryer, all set to close and go home. I was exhausted, sweat clinging to my uniform, when the front door creaked open.
Tell me that's someone who forgot their wallet.
I muttered, turning toward the entrance. I could hear heavy footsteps approaching, but before I could see the customer, I noticed my coworker Luis. He was mopping behind the milkshake station, but now he stood frozen with a face as pale as a sheet. I immediately got that feeling of dread. Once I came out from the kitchen, I understood Luis's reaction. A man had stepped inside. He was limping like a broken toy. He wore a grease-stained clown outfit, 2 sizes too big, patched together with duct tape and something that looked like dried blood. His painted face grinned, lips cracked like old leather, revealing yellow teeth. The smeared red blush on his cheeks made him look like Captain Spaulding from the movie House of a Thousand Corpses. "I hear the Fries are here to die for," he hissed, dragging a rusted crowbar across the floor tiles. Luis reached for his phone, but the clown raised the crowbar and announced, "What? You don't like clowns? Don't we make you laugh?" Luis froze again. "No calls, okay?" he cackled. "We're gonna play a fun little game tonight. Hide and shriek. Think of it as employee engagement activity." I stood rooted to the floor, having no clue of how I'll get out of this situation alive. He started rummaging through the counter, opening drawers and grabbing spatulas and ketchup bottles like they were sacred relics. "Tell me, Blondie, do you enjoy games?" I was terrified, but chose to stand my ground.
There are cameras here. The cops will find you, you know?
"Cops!" He let out a wheezy chuckle. "Oh, sweet thing. If the cops had already caught me for the fun I had, I'd be sitting in the electric chair by now." Electric. Zzz. He mimed electrocution, rolling his eyes back while taking his tongue out. I'd never seen anyone having such a red tongue. He turned on Luis then. "You, handsome, got any meat back there? I've got a hankering for something rare. Really rare. Maybe a spleen burger, eyeball sliders. Do I look like I have dietary restrictions?" He herded us toward the back with lazy swings of the crowbar. It wasn't random. He was performing, feeding off the fear he smeared all over the walls, like his smeared clown grease paint. We backed into the freezer area. "Clowns hate the cold, but I love a good screamsicle." Luis was trembling. I could see him glancing toward the emergency exit, but I knew better. It'd been jammed for months. Every time we complained, management shrugged at us, saying, "Just keep it closed." Now, that laziness might get us killed. The clown danced in circles, spinning with the crowbar like he was auditioning for a sadistic version of America's Got Talent. "Okay, my little burger buddies," he said, bowing. "Time for round 1. Who can scream the loudest?" "Why are you doing this?" Luis asked, voice shaking. The clown paused, tapping the crowbar against his teeth. "Have you ever started a grill so long that the sizzle starts sounding like a lullaby? Ever dream about meat? I do. Every night. You think you're just flipping burgers? You're part of the machine, and I'm here to clean the gears." He grabbed Luis by the collar and dragged him back into the kitchen. I saw the panic in Luis's eyes, and something else. He wanted me to run. So I did. I slipped behind the freezer door and darted through the dry storage, barely dodging a falling box of peanut oil. My hands found the panic button under the prep counter. I hit it. Silent alarm engaged. I then hid behind the storage boxes, watching out from the gap. The kitchen echoed with screams and laughter, the kind that makes your insides twist. I crouched behind the storage rack, heart slamming against my ribs, listening. You scream like a pork chop in a pressure cooker, Louise. The clown shouted, followed by a wet crunch. You think that's broken? You should see what they did to my dreams. I heard Louise's scream 2 more times, followed by sounds of bones breaking. After that, all went silent. I could barely stop myself from crying. Then, I heard him calling out to me. Jamie! Jamie! Where's my little blondie? I promise I'll make it quick. Well, quick-ish, depending on how flexible your kneecaps are. I bit down on my knuckle to keep from sobbing. I thought he wouldn't be able to find me, but as I looked from the small gap between the boxes, I saw a pair of eyes staring dead at me. He slowly moved the boxes, revealing his entire face, staring up close. One little hider shaking in a crate. 2 bloody hands, soon to seal your fate. 3 seconds left. Wanna run? Too late. I closed my eyes, knowing I was going to be dead in seconds, when I heard cop cars right outside the Five Guys entrance. When I opened them, the clown was gone. The cops pulled me out and took away Louise's dead body in a stretcher. He was beaten to a pulp. I told the cops everything. I told them to check out the security cameras, but it too was out of order. I showed them a picture of Captain Spaulding, but the cops didn't look very hopeful. They said clowns kept changing their attire, so maybe this time he was Spaulding. Next time he might come as Friendo. Who knows? I never found the clown, and I know they won't. Like he said, if they did catch him for what he did, he'd be sitting in a chair, getting electrocuted.